Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast.
Hello!
Hi!
Welcome to the General Hospital recap for technically June 5th through 8th, but it was the week through the 9th. Got preempted because we don't have a million other different
News
ways
outlets.
to see news all the time. We must still interrupt our soaps that are barely hanging on by a thread. So we got so much mail this week. The Port Charles Pipeline.
Good or bad?
It's a variety.
Okay.
It's great.
I'm scared.
Great. So from Chandra, Tad and Anna, or Alex.
Oh, okay.
Hi, ladies. I'm listening to the podcast, and I was racking my brain if Tad and Anna had any scenes together, and I went to Google, and I found this GIF. And it is of them in a car fighting.
Oh, okay.
So
They had some
when I was like,
interaction?
woohoo, I was like, I like them fighting. Well, they've already done it before. Like, she's really... Why do I feel
yelling.
like that's Alex? If you know if it was Alex or Anna fighting in the car with Tad, let us know. And then I found this on YouTube. I hope they're still there when you're reading this email, considering they're taking all these things down. And it's a fantasy clip showing Tad laying on the floor. Anna comes in like stiletto-heeled boots and a knee-length skirt and puts her foot right on his chest. And meanwhile, and then she's unbuttoning her shirt. And then she pulls him up to kiss him passionately. Did you know that Tad had a theme song? Hold on. I should have had that playing.
Yes.
I was wondering when you were going to show up.
Yeah. Best is always worth waiting for.
Told you, Tad the cat.
I mean, he had a doo-wop style theme song. I
the cat.
loved it so much watching that. But so she just said it's 10:15 p.m. Central Standard Time as I type this. And if I go down the rabbit hole, I'll be up until 3 a.m. Hey, good news. What? No, we're only an hour ahead. I was going to say, that'd be the time I'm waking up. That'd be funny. It's not. I'm sure there's more. If I have time, I'll nose around on Tuesday and see what I discover. Enjoy.
Thank you.
I loved
Yes.
it. And then Richard Tomlin sent us an email. Hey, friends, Max's dad, Rocky, here. Oh, and his subject was new legacy characters needed. Hey, friends, Max's dad, Rocky, here. I'm writing the Port Charles Pipeline in this week because I feel wrestling and soap operas are facing a similar dilemma. I would love to hear y'all's take on this because I don't ever see the solution to this and sometimes don't notice until after it happens and it is time for it to happen again. Okay, here it goes. The short-term statement of the dilemma is there needs to be new legacy characters. Yes. Yes. Examples on both sides. Everyone knows Luke and Laura. In wrestling, everyone knows Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, etc. Then Stone Cold and The Rock. Anyway, Undertaker. Exactly, like why wasn't Undertaker one of the first ones he mentioned? Okay, Rocky, we'll talk about this later. Triple H, and then John Cena and Batista. But none of these wrestlers wrestle anymore. John Cena even only wrestles once a year now because of his movie schedule. Are there wrestlers that are good now? Of course. But besides Roman Reigns, there are not many known mainstream. Now with GH, there's a hard age line. Yes, Laura is still there sometimes. Anna, Robert, Tracy, and other characters are great, but their time is coming to an end. We know what you're saying by this.
Mm-hmm.
Spencer and Trina have thankfully seemed on track to become new legacy characters. They have the fan base and chemistry to do so. Absolutely, I agree with that.
But their good villain, Esme, is off the table right now, except for Trina's mom. Portia is kind of being set up to the villain role after the Greenland adventure. And after this week, I would absolutely agree with that statement. Even more now that Anna is no longer a WSB agent, and there has not been any work to give us someone else to root for on that level of spy stuff, like younger and liked by the fans, which is when they promoted Annie Donnelly to the WSB. Fair, but Caitlin Riley is an actress.
Right.
Why didn't we see Anna mentoring her? And I mean, maybe she didn't want to, and that's totally fair. And it was a really nice nod when John Riley passed away that they brought in his real life daughter to, but where she's an actress, I don't know what that conversation was like behind the curtains. I hope that it happened and maybe just wasn't meant to be. But yeah, like why isn't Anna mentoring anyone? And now she won't. Maybe Annie will come in now. Okay. The current adults can be good, but they have kind of mangled a lot of the current storylines. Anyway, sorry, getting bogged down in that. But I am curious, y'all's take on trying to build new characters versus phasing out old ones. Okay, we don't phase out the old ones. We allow them to naturally no longer be there at this point.
So I think the reason that we don't have not new legacy characters, but legacy characters for us to identify with is because that whole chapter went away. All the people we talk about loving in the 90s are not on there anymore.
Sonny's it. Sonny is the only legacy character that we still have.
But he was older even then. Like Karen and Jagger.
Liz.
Liz is all by herself because Lucky left her.
But that's what she's the one carrying the legacy. Nicholas, yes, but it's been how many different actors? But character-wise, Nicholas.
But right now he's gone.
Right. Liz has pretty much never left. But, I mean, Luke and Laura left. Robert and Holly left.
Right.
Like, all the quote legacy, I don't want to quote legacy, but the ones that we talk about being legacy characters, they have been on and off the show multiple times. Anna's died a few times.
Yes.
But yeah, I think really right now the only characters, excluding actors, would be Liz and Nicholas. And Sonny. But Sonny is now...
This is where they need to take your suggestion and bring Gia back.
Yes!
And that follows the whole family line of Taggart, and she would be in the right age group that we would still be invested. She would have years that we could still be invested in.
And a storyline to throw back to of, remember, she and Liz hated each other.
Right.
So, yeah. This year, John Cena lost in WrestleMania to a younger wrestler that they have high hopes for and plans for, but we, the fans, don't like this wrestler, and it was expected. Fun fact, my husband does not like John Cena at all. So I don't think he's ever been happy about any of Cena's, quote, success. But that's another thing. Oh, he saw Kurt Angle yesterday at a men's conference in Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. And so JD actually used to work for Kurt Angle, and he just came up to him and, like, patted him on the back, and I was like, oh, how cool.
That is very nice.
So it was a short question with a lot of rambling, but I hope to hear y'all's thoughts. Love the show. Rocky! Thanks, Rocky. I think we just kind of gave a lot of our thoughts. I
agree with you, we need them, but I don't know where they're coming from.
Because they basically just kill everyone real quick, too.
Yeah.
I guess Valentin kind of has built in to become a legacy character because of his tie-in with the Cassadines and now his relationship with Anna. I think that he has the possibility of becoming, but still he's not going to logistically be able to have the decades. I mean, we've had Valentin since the mid-10s, right? Is that what we're calling them? The 10s?
Oh my gosh.
So we've only had him for about 10 years. Like, he would have to be on another 30 years for him to be... Well, Sonny's just now being 30 years. At what point are they considered legacy? We'll answer your question with another question. At what point are... that would be a good poll.
That is a good poll.
When is... Because like he mentioned... Spencer and Trina are being set up for... Emma could have been.
Yes, they need to bring Emma back.
All right, are we good on that one?
I think we're good. Because
Okay.
we could talk about it all day, but we're not really going to
100%.
get a resolution.
And then Ashley. So I'll start with a funny story that made me think of both of you while watching GH this week. It will contain spoilers if you haven't watched. So fair warning. Thank you, because I immediately snoozed the email. On Thursday, when Ned heard about Drew being at the Metro Court and went running towards the pool, in my head I was cheering him on like, yes, blow the whistle on Nina. Blow the whistle, Ned. You blow that whistle so hard. Ashley, we have to talk about this. But that is another podcast. But I feel like that is something I would have accidentally said and then realized afterwards.
Well, I would have laughed
She
at
took
you.
the time to write this out.
She did.
I appreciate your dedication. Okay. Then I stopped and was extremely glad it was only in my head because that thought process quickly took a turn. Then to just have him trip and fall into the pool while busting his head had me screaming, no! So loudly that my 5-year-old was coming in to check and make sure I was okay.
Aww.
I won't get into the anger the scene brought me, especially where Tracy is concerned, but I think we all know he's coming out of it, not remembering anything he's overheard.
Yep.
Yep. They have camera. There's a camera right there. Come on. Just get the camera.
Yep.
So in summary, not only was I making accidental innuendos. Oh!
See, she knows it. She knew she was you.
Oh, Ashley. But I'm also waking up my loved ones, getting entirely wrapped up in GH. Just wanted to let you know you are not alone. So then another thought was, with the feds going after Carly for info on Sonny, it got me thinking, and please tell me if my thought process is completely wrong. While yes, Carly was Sonny's wife and knows the business, Drew still has Jason's memories.
That's where we need the tarot cards that
Yep.
Valentin left to Sam.
And Andre could be involved.
Andre could be involved.
Because once again, we just saw him. And why? Appreciate that he was there.
Right.
But why couldn't that have been an email?
Mm-hmm.
If we're leading up to Andre coming back to be part of something like this, that would be fantastic. He probably has more info than even Carly does. Yeah.
Absolutely.
If he felt so inclined, he could make the deal with the feds and turn evidence over against Sonny to help him and Carly, couldn't he? So why has this option never been brought up? I love it.
Yes.
Not that I believe he would ever do it, even if someone were to randomly remember this crazy memory mapping storyline. Or perhaps, yeah, that was. We should just do a 411 about that, but really it's just, it's
Crazy.
a quick, it'd be 10 minutes just because we're not getting
Everybody's
into...
swapping memories.
Right. Basically, if you were a twin, apparently they did a memory swapping thingy. Or perhaps the writers are trying to have everyone just forget it even happened. You mean like trying to erase their memory of it? Then there's always the possibility that I have misremembered the entire thing and am entirely bonkers. No.
You are absolutely correct.
Might still be bonkers, but you are correct. And feel free to tell me if I am. Just did. But we're bonkers too, so it's okay.
Exactly.
I'm thankful that you've made it this far with me. I hope you ladies have a wonderful week. And as always, I'm so grateful for you both.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then the last one. This is a really long Port Charles pipeline. From Jennifer Lynn. Hi, Shannon and Amanda. I really enjoy listening to your podcast. Thank you for doing it. You're welcome. Thanks for listening. I thought you would want to see this article. It's titled Parry Shen Talks Revisiting GH's Asian Quarter Story from the 1980s. And in short, basically, he talks about how he is a woo and a lot of the cast members, like the real life actors, are still around to be brought in. And we mentioned this when we when we did our 411 about the Asian Quarter, that Jade is Tia Carrera, and that is Ms. Wu's sister, so there could be some friction there.
Yep.
Brad's biological father is Kim, and that actor is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe they even said the man who was the head, but that actor is still around also. Also, George Takei is still around, and maybe we could just have his character have not died. Because he only died by cyanide poisoning and was left in the catacombs. He could totally still be alive. Anyway, Jen was present at the Zoom. She said I was present, sorry. At the Zoom that the author references on June 4th when Parry was talking about this with us. I think his name was Michael from Soap Hub, and that attended the Zoom. You have mentioned so many similar things to what Parry suggested in the Zoom for the story, so I wanted to make sure you saw the article, and we'll put the article in show notes. In the Zoom, we were all asking how we can help make this a reality, and Michael from Soap Hub said he would write this article about the idea to help get things buzzing. Of course, if we don't have writers, we can't have any new stories. I'm with the two of you that we need to start Flashback Fridays ASAP so we can stretch out as long as possible. I even think let's extend it a bit further and do something like Memory Monday, which is also an old episode. They could use that time to do 2 old episodes in a row, and it would be fun to watch, to follow along with any old stories a bit. Anyway, I guess we shall see. Take care, Jen. And I love that idea, and as I was reading that, I'm like, oh, they could actually be showing the old storylines that they're referencing right now.
They could. And this is the perfect opportunity. This week, we heard Carly say that she can't take Sonny down because then all the other families are going to try to take over Sonny's territory. And this would be great for all the different Wu family main characters to be fighting over this territory.
I agree.
All in.
I love it. So that was...
Like, they've opened the doors to so many.
Yeah.
Even just this week with talking about the takeover and then Mason talking about, no, I don't care about your Jerome connections.
Uh-oh, who might be right here?
Right. That would be great. Like, do it. Bring the old families back. There's our legacy.
Yes. And 2 quick things that I want to throw in. One, Avery Pohl, the actress that portrays Esme, graduated from college this week.
She looked so cute in her cap and
So
gown.
congratulations. She completed her college degree and shared some pictures. And Stella was on the show Superstore for one quick episode where she played like a hospital administrator.
Oh, okay.
So
If you're
that was a fun-
watching the new season of Cruel Summer, Sean was on it. The actor that plays Sean, obviously not Sean.
Well, his name is Sean.
But his character
Sean
name is not
Blakemore.
Sean. Yes.
But they spell his Sean differently than his character Sean, which I thought was right. I thought he
Is
spells it
Sean-
S-E-A-N, but Sean Butler is S-H-A-W-N.
Is he?
I think so.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know how this soap...
I don't understand why.
I have a nephew named Sean, and they spelled
Yeah.
it S-H-A-W-N. Okay. But I always heard that was the female version of it. Because people gave my sister crap whenever she named him that. So,
I don't know.
I don't know either. But anyway, I was a pleasant surprise that he was getting out of a cop car in his uniform, and I was like, hello, Sean.
Okay. So now we can actually get started on this week's.
Right?
So Monday, Joss can't deny her feelings.
Oh, blah.
Carly has a realization. Trina is shocked. Portia gets a happy surprise. And Brooklyn and Chase celebrate. On Tuesday, Willow receives encouragement. I don't feel like any of that was encouragement. I have a lot of thoughts about that lady, and if we could never see her again, I'd be perfectly fine with it.
Yep.
Willow, you need a new doctor. Lucy praises Maxie. And we've had people requesting my input on the real estate side of that. Curtis advises Drew. Brooklyn voices her misgivings, and Kevin supports Laura. And that was the scene.
Yeah.
Like, that was it. Wednesday, Elizabeth gets good news. Sonny and Valentin meet. Drew consults with his attorney. Martin reassures Nina, and Carly makes a big decision. On Thursday, Carly makes a request. Joss implores Dex. Dante is concerned. Anna receives support. And Tracy lobbies an accusation.
Nothing about Ned.
Nothing about Ned.
Oh, that's funny.
So, where do you want to start?
I just kind of made notes and then added in as I went. So they say, Joss can't deny her feelings. We had a way too sexy sex scene with Dex and Joss.
I fast forwarded.
They're always in bed. They need more.
But they've been through more in the past year than more people have been through in their lifetime. The looking for the bracelet in the dumpster is such a travesty. It is such a big moment. I will no, actually I probably have had to look in a dumpster for something. I worked in a lot of restaurants.
You did? You did. Did you find your soulmate in there? Did he climb in with you?
I have never found my soulmate in garbage. No.
Anyway.
I did not buy that stupid montage. I'm sorry. They went to the nurse's ball and went dumpster diving.
Right. But they held hands and looked at each other lovingly many times over those. It's just too soon for them to have a montage.
He's been shot and she hit him.
Yes.
To be fair, most people don't go through that. That one specific, two specifics, right? He's been shot twice and she's helped him twice.
Yes.
So yes, I have not helped somebody after they have been shot twice.
Right.
And I don't feel like most people have.
It might be a problem if you have. Like, you might need to seek help if that's something you're dealing with every day. No, it was, they're too new for a montage. It was, like, so overplayed with him saying, I love you. And then she's like, I hope you're not mad I didn't say I love you back. And then they sit there and talk for 10 minutes. And then she's like, hey, by the way, I love you.
Right. And the two people that she has said I love you to, one was Oscar. And that was, it was Oscar and Cam. And those were very true loves. And neither one of those
happened overnight.
It didn't happen overnight, but also they didn't end so badly on their part. Well, okay, Cam and Joss did not end very well, but that was Joss's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Oscar passed away, and she was with him that whole time. That was, Cam and Oscar were both great loves for her to have. Neither one of them were
a waste.
To put it mildly, but like neither one wound up being abusive or like something that she should regret. Both, and you know, that can be something when you've been in a really, really, really bad relationship. It scares you, but neither one of those relationships give any reason for her to mistrust or to be...
You don't get to say, I'm so scared of this ending like my last relationship that I blew up because I slept with you.
Right. I'm worried I'm going to see somebody else that I want to just hook up with and leave you for. No, that I just... And this is a once in a lifetime? No. No, Robin and Stone went through way more than people do.
God. Yeah.
What she went through with Oscar was way more than anyone her age typically goes through. She has been through a lot, but the two of them together have not.
Mm-mm.
I'm sorry. I'm glad that we're on the same page about this because I heard that and I was just like...
No, the whole thing was ridiculous.
I do like that she told him that she's not going to make him quit.
Right.
So I was happy with that.
Yes. Yes, that was sweet that he said he was going to keep working unless she said no. So I'm glad because that would have just been awful. I'm glad that she's letting him see how that all plays out. And I mean, I want them to have a nice, as normal as possible relationship. Her to continue college and him to continue in the business and see where they end up. But it was just too soon and too, like, nothing brought it on. It was just all of a sudden, like, here we go. We've had 500 love scenes. Now we have to throw one more with a montage in it. I didn't understand.
All right, we can move on from that because it was just,
And
But Sonny talked to Dex and was basically like, I see you as a lifer. And Dex, I think, we saw it a little bit when Sonny was talking about Deke and things like that.
Right.
That they connected on their past history. And Sonny brought that up to him. Like, you did what you did, but you did it for the right reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Dex is, and I think that this is probably going to be what ultimately he and Joss do break up over, is he is going to be taking Sonny's side. And as we saw, we'll just get started on that one. She is super adamant about taking Sonny down. And Carly looked at her like, what the heck? Where did you come from?
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. She's screaming at Carly about how Sonny hurt their family so bad and Sonny ripped it apart. And then she threw the ultimate insult and was like, why don't you ask Morgan about it? And I was like, oh, I don't know.
I'm
how
sorry.
she didn't
I'm
slap
not.
her.
That's exactly. I'm like, I am not a big proponent of that being a first response, but you do not bring up somebody's dead child. I understand they are also her sibling. No.
I just feel like it would have been reaction again. Not.
And she lied to Carly when Carly showed her the flash drive.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I think she lost some major respect from Carly this week.
Yeah.
I think that Carly is now, we know that she knows her daughter is a young woman now. She's a young adult. But I think that Carly learned a lot about Joss this week.
Yes. Right, because she's trying to explain to her without giving too much information
Right.
that it's not this easy. I can't just turn in Sonny. I have to be concerned for everyone else. And instead of Jocelyn being concerned for her mother and her own safety even, she's like, but I want my boyfriend free.
Right. And then Carly reminded Michael also, and I think this is one of the things that has frustrated me the most. Michael has always been someone who really does take into consideration everybody involved's impact
Right.
in things. You know, that's why he got custody of Avery. You know, he was looking out for her best interest, but also he made sure that, but like Carly reminded him, remember what happened the last time Sonny wasn't here?
Right.
And they tried to kill me and Jason? Sonny going to jail is not a good idea. What do you think's going to happen then?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be worse. Jason's not here.
Right. And I
We
can't
will
take
all
it
be
over
killed.
again. Yeah.
I mean, she was like, every single one of us will be killed. And she threw at him, you're probably hurting Joss too. And then I think when she talked to Josh, she was like, oh, no. Joss is definitely doing this to herself. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, and then she put together that Michael hired Dex. And Michael was like all embarrassed because as she was asking, he was still like a little boy.
Right. I don't
Like,
want to
"Oh, crap,
disappoint my mommy.
Mom just caught me.
And then she's like, wait. How did this work out so perfectly? Oh, okay. I see now. I did, though, also have issue with the fact that she stomped on that flash drive and then they all were like, oh, it's broken, blah, blah, blah. No, it wasn't. The part that you plug into the computer was still there. It just wasn't in the pretty casing. If you would have plugged that into a computer, it would have still worked.
Isn't the casing what actually holds, like that's the memory card though, is the casing. The thing that you plug into it is the connector, but where the stuff is held, I think like the little circuit board is in that body.
It's connected to that metal piece, and theirs was still connected.
Yeah, but
I
if
don't
she
think it
stomped
would've been
on it, it
broken.
probably crushed inside.
I don't think it did.
Okay.
They're pretty resilient. I don't think it did.
How many times have you stepped on one that still worked?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Okay. I just assumed that that's the case, and therefore it crushed. Is it a circuit board or whatever it is inside that's holding all the stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're pretty resilient.
Because then Joss did give it to Dex.
Right. That's
Yeah,
where
I was
I'm
confused by
wondering.
that whole thing.
He's like, I can't leave evidence anywhere that I was any part of this. Well,
He wasn't even in the video, right?
And it doesn't have your name on the flash drive. It's not like if someone found it in the garbage, they'd be like, oh, this is Dex's. Let me see what's on it. It was just a broken flash drive as far as anyone else was concerned.
Right.
But yeah, I think it still would have worked. I want eventually for him to pull it out and be like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So.
That's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know where to go from there. Oh, and then Carly asked Michael to do one more job, to get Dex to do one more thing.
Yes.
What's that going to be?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's like, yeah, I need you to make sure that your father is protected, and if he's getting into something he's not supposed to, that you let me know.
Yeah, that's really going to be interesting how... I mean, maybe Carly is trying to also help Michael because he's a grown man now, and yes, Sonny loves him, but if he's going to go to war on him, that could be damaging to the same people that Michael is trying to save.
Right.
His actions are also going to hurt.
Yes.
Sonny's going to do what he needs to do to protect them. I don't think he's going to hurt Michael. He would never hurt Michael.
And no, he wouldn't hurt Michael, but if he has to neutralize him somehow, he's going to figure out a way to do that because he has to go for the greater good. He wants to take care of all of his family, not just Michael.
Exactly.
Want to take that into Willow?
Sure.
So she finally is allowed visitors, and before we see Michael go in and visit, that nurse is like, I just need to see my favorite patient, and do you want your mom to come in? Because she's been out there the whole time, blah, blah, blah. She has to be someone from Donna Day or someone that Nina hired or something, because she's like trying to get in there way too much information. Do you mind telling me about this? Oh, I don't mean to pry, but blah, blah, blah. Like, no, leave me alone. I'm trying to recover from having bone marrow transplant and I'm whining at you that I'm uncomfortable. And instead of you trying to make me more comfortable, you're asking me about things that stress me out.
Right. I didn't like, so at first I was like, great, Nina is stalking Willow,
Right.
which I understand. I do, like, as a mom, I would 100% basically be camped out. But Nina really has to get this relationship thing in her head where she needs to wait for Willow to recover and then focus on. But then she's like, oh, so that woman's not your biological mom. I wish that my mother-in-law was that great. You know, all those things, because it was Carly that was camped out.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously welcomed. But everything, she tells Willow, you know, no mother's perfect. And what if Nina was in a car accident tomorrow?
I don't even know that I buy that it's Carly or Nina, though. Like, it makes me wonder, is there someone else out there stalking Willow? Because
I thought it was Carly because she said it was my mother-in-law.
Willow said, oh, you must be talking about my mother-in-law. The woman never said, oh, yeah, she said her name was Carly, or the woman knew who Nina Reeves was because she said she followed the magazine all the time.
You're so lucky to have Nina Reeves as your mom because she puts out a magazine.
Right.
But not that she actively worked to destroy your career.
Right. Technically, when they were having this conversation, Carly should have been at home talking to Michael.
Okay, I am so messed up on all these timelines, though. We're just not, like...
I mean, I think I'm right, because then Michael left.
But there was something else that was weird this week that I was like, how's that happening at the same time? And I can't remember what it was.
Maybe they're not following the right timeline, but I felt like it was not necessarily Carly, and I don't know who that is. I think it's probably freaking Obrecht.
Oh, it could have been Obrecht.
That would make way more sense.
That would make a lot of sense because she would already be at the hospital too, working, in addition to... Okay.
Yeah, I think it's Obrecht. There, that's my... It all came to me right now.
And not Nina, because Nina also would have been at the Metro Court.
Right.
So, but that's what I'm saying, like, about all these timelines. Oh, because the whole Zeke thing and Drew, and I'm just like, wait, what?
Right, it's
because they said afternoon, and I'm like, but they were there in the evening. And
it seemed like Jordan and Zeke shut down the bar.
Right.
And then he gets this call from Drew, who's like, hey, can you meet me here? And Tracy's still there, and
that's what I'm...
Brooklyn's still there. And I'm like, what? Are you guys all hanging out at 2 in the morning?
But they did say they were getting to resume cocktail service. So maybe they shut down for a couple hours. Maybe Jordan... But also, it's not dark in New York at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right.
So if you shut down for dinner between 3 and 5 and you were getting ready to reopen at 5, but then, because that's what they were talking about, oh, you took the evening off or the afternoon off from work, and Brooklyn said something about it actually being evening.
Yes,
that's what I'm talking about.
It's
all the
after
timelines
5.
are messed up.
Yeah, she was like, it's after 5. I didn't take the afternoon off. I got done with work at 5.
Right.
And now I'm here.
Exactly. That's why it's called happy hour.
Yeah.
But that nurse was just... She's the kind of woman that a little boy punches a little girl and she says, oh, he must like you.
Yeah.
And tells a battered wife, oh, honey, he's just having trouble controlling his anger. Everything she said was so wrong. So wrong.
And Willow's just like, okay, I'm trying not to be rude.
I was so happy that she stood her ground. Sorry.
I don't like her. I'm sorry. Some stuff happened. And then Michael comes in and is like, hey, how are you feeling? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yeah, I'm good. And then Curtis calls on the phone. She's like, hi, Curtis, how are you?
Mm-hmm.
I love their friendship. Was it Curtis? No, it was Drew.
It was Drew. Drew. She said that you could always...
Yeah, she could always bother him. Sorry. I was thinking of Curtis and Drew talking earlier, and I'm like, nope, saying the wrong person.
I like that Willow was like, yeah, so there's something going on with you, Michael.
Yeah.
Without him even...
Yeah, she was like, your eyes kind of give off your whole, how you're feeling and what's going on. Even with that mask on, I can tell something's up.
Yep. All right, so we kind of just also touched on a whole lot. So where do we want to go?
We can go with Jordan and Zeke, but I didn't really like that. I feel like...
So I thought that Zeke was part of Pikeman, and then somebody was, I think it was Vinny, posted that on Facebook also, and then they're like, no... It was in the previews for Wednesday, which if you're watching on Hulu, we don't get previews.
Right.
So we don't get the tomorrow on General Hospital.
Right.
And now we know that Zeke is Drew's attorney. Doesn't mean that he couldn't be working for Pikeman, though, too.
No, it doesn't mean that. But I don't know. Something is off with him. Like, even when he was talking to Portia, I'm like, I don't like you. And then whenever he was talking to Jordan, he was just, like, too smooth. And Jordan just seemed so out of character. Like, dropping her ring in her glass.
Yeah, and she was not that drunk.
No, it was, like, not an accident. It was just like, oh, here.
Right.
She must have dropped this in there on purpose. Why? That doesn't make any sense. And
I'm not saying you would ever be drunk, but who would get drunk to the point where they left any kind of a sentimental ring or item in the bottom of a public restaurant's...
Right.
Like,
I know she said, I'm moving
You
on,
hide
I'm
it in
going to
your
be
attic.
reckless. But, like, yeah, exactly. You take it home and put it in a drawer. You don't just toss it out in a glass at the Metroport. And then their whole grown-up scene, I hated it. I
I fast-forwarded through that as well.
Oh, no, they were trying, like, this weird, different camera angle, and it had her kissing his stomach, and the look on his face was like he was in pain, not like he was enjoying it. And
But at least they didn't do that where he was helping her unzip her dress while kissing her back, and then, like...
but it was so much more worse. At least when they do those scenes, you're like, I've never experienced anything like that where it all goes so seamlessly that it's just like boom, 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 boom. But okay, I'm supposed to be in fantasy land watching my TV show, so I'll pretend like that happens. This was even more awkward than the first time in real life that you're trying to figure all those logistics out. They like stopped weird, and it like made a big deal of him taking off her bra and then like tossed it on the floor. It was, I don't know. I did not like the camera angle. I did not like the way it all went. It was, I don't know, way too much like...
I don't know. I fast-forwarded, so I'm just going to
forced.
take... I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though both of them were totally supposed to be in the moment.
Yeah.
It wasn't supposed to be like she was pushing herself to do this to get over Curtis. And so there was that like awkward tension or whatever. She was...
Okay.
They were both into it, but it just... Yeah. Nope. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
What do you think's going to happen when he finds out that
That was
his sister's husband is the ex that she kissed?
That's going to be great.
That's going to be
great.
very interesting.
I love it. I love it. And that she got to figure it out first because she's leaving the hotel as Portia walks in and is like, hey, my brother, what are you doing? I missed you. And then Portia's standing in the elevator going, oh,
Jordan.
crap. Jordan standing in the elevator watching them going, oh, crap.
I just told him that I kissed my ex and I'm still in love with him and like all that stuff.
And Portia's not going to be happy to know I was hooking up with her brother.
I don't think Portia would care about that at all, to be perfectly honest, because I think she would also see it as, sweet, Jordan's moving on, Curtis is out of her mind or whatever, but he's going to not keep that from his sister when he figures out.
Right.
But so Drew goes to him and decides that well, first he and Curtis had a conversation about, whatever.
Being daddies.
Being dads, talk about the DNA results. And Drew talked about that Carly might be considering basically making him take the fall.
I think that's true. I don't think Carly would do that. And he should know her better.
But now Drew's going to turn himself in instead.
Right.
I'm curious as to what that... Is that so that Carly takes the fall?
No, I think he knows that he is just going to get a slap on the wrist. Whereas Carly would get time, or they would have to make a deal with Carly that she's not going to make for Sonny. So if he just says, it's all my fault, they don't get to Sonny, they don't get to Carly, and they're like, oh, okay, you did bad. Here's some community service.
Well, he'd probably also... I mean, can they force... He'll lose his position with Aurora. I bet the board votes him off.
Yeah.
If he turns himself in. So now we're back to what's he going to do?
But he has enough money. He'll be okay. He'll figure something out. Obviously, you're just hoping that the truth comes out before that happens. But the only one that knows the truth, other than Martin, is poor Ned, who's floating at the top of a pool. No, he's a GH now.
He is at GH now. He overheard Nina and Martin talking. And at first I was really upset because you and I both wanted Olivia to be the one to figure it out and be the one to, Ned, I figured this out, you know, I think she's going to figure it out and go for it while maybe Ned's going to be in a coma for a little bit or something.
Well,
And
but that's because Nina is so dumb about it. She was like, wait, Sonny doesn't think it's Ned anymore? And they're like,
but
okay.
that is why I am so thankful for Ned being the one to overhear and approach Nina about it, because he's like, because if they had Olivia do this, then it would be a girl fight and a catty, you know what I mean?
Right.
Even Olivia, who can definitely very sternly talk to somebody without it turning into like the quote, like stereotypical girl fight or whatever. I feel like Nina
Would have taken it there.
would have, yes, she would have responded. Whereas with Ned, she basically just stood there and took it, as he's like,
But I did
do
like
you
how-
really think Sonny is going to stay with you?
I did like how she tried to twist it and was like, Ned, you don't have to make up this story. It's okay. If you just keep
Gaslighting.
telling people that you didn't do it, they'll believe you even though it's not true. And he's like, what are you talking about?
Yep.
I heard you and Martin. You did this.
Yep.
But it was smart of her to try to twist it around like, no, I'm going to call your bluff and see if you actually heard something.
And at first I was like, don't run by the pool. And then he stopped. The second that he got to that pool platform, he stopped running and he walked. I'm so mad about that towel.
Yep.
I'm so thankful Drew was there and was able to get him. And then Tracy saying that Drew pushed him. Again, we have cameras, Tracy.
Yep.
However, she's trying to get Drew in trouble because he threatened to tell Chase that Brooklyn
Yes.
is being blackmailed-ish, persuaded, manipulated by Tracy.
To try
She's not
to,
being blackmailed.
to try to get patent information, like intellectual property that you cannot take. That is not okay.
About the Deceptor. What's Tracy going to do now? Open up a cosmetics company?
I don't know. I didn't understand that because Brooklyn's like, we all work really well together. I'm happy there. They're happy. Like, I can see this going even more long term. And Tracy's like, for a few more weeks.
And she's going to ruin her own granddaughter's company while using her granddaughter to get there has to be something else going on there because
she never had any kind of beef with Tracy or with Lucy that would make her want to take Lucy down.
She doesn't like Lucy, but
she doesn't like her, but
that's all in the
they've
past.
Coexisted for so long. There's no reason.
She doesn't not like Maxie, right?
Right. No. She's
I don't
not
think she would do that to a single
any
mom.
of them. Mm-mm. And Sasha, she's fine with Sasha.
There has to be something.
Yeah.
There has to be something.
I can't wait to find out what it is because that all had me really confused. What does Tracy want with a makeup company? Come on.
Yep.
But then back at the makeup company, they were celebrating that the Deceptor sales are doing so well.
Whoop, whoop.
And Lucy's like, hey, maybe now you can get out of that 2-bedroom apartment with your 3 kids.
Oh, Lucy. She is a fair housing violation walking. We can't comment on the schools. If Maxie were to say, oh, that's a great school district, Lucy would be like, oh, okay. We can't tell you because that's all subjective. That's your opinion. Some people think that what you and I might consider good school districts aren't, and vice versa.
But isn't Port Charles
That was my other question.
all the
Isn't
same school district? Like, I
it's
feel
not like she's
like
moving to Beecher's Corners.
Right. She's not moving out of town. I don't know. Our town is not small at all.
We're the second biggest borough in Pennsylvania.
Yes. But
Fun fact.
I am aware just from driving through town most of the time, like when you reference a house that's for sale, I'm like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So I would assume that Maxie also is like, oh yeah, I drove down Main Street last week and noticed that the such and such house was for sale or whatever.
Right.
And that's where you're starting to look. Instead, she's showing her McMansions, as Maxie put it, and it has 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms and a pool and a this.
And what?
I'm sorry, what was that? Can you use your words?
When Maxie's like, I'm too busy to go looking, and Lucy's like, that's what the internet's for. No, it's not.
No,
You have to go
it in
see the
person.
house in person.
Please don't buy a house without seeing it in person, especially for like your family. If you're in the town, like I understand maybe if you're making a cross country move or something, but You're in the town. Take a lunch break and go check out the house you want.
Yes. And the real estate website that she still has access to is the multi-list.
Yeah.
Like, or that's not a branded thing. She could have just said multi-list.
Yeah.
And guess what? Those houses are public. The reason that we put them on the multi-list is so that they are public.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
My-
Everyone finds houses on the internet nowadays.
And then they send them to us, and then we look up the information about them and then go, oh, because guess what? There's also agent notes that sometimes say things that aren't public knowledge.
Right.
For example, I just had someone not wanting to see a house that they sent me because of the agent notes, because certain situations.
Yeah.
Or the disclosures.
Right.
As a friend, though, I was thinking maybe she was talking about the school thing as a friend. However, she should have said, as a friend, I'm telling you this.
I think that
But I didn't even do that with you guys. I told you. I was like, I can't tell you things.
Right.
Real estate wise, this is my job. This is how I have to.
Right, but maybe she felt like she was excused because she said, I don't do much in it anymore.
No,
Like,
if you still have your license, you still have to follow the rules.
maybe she was thinking she could push the rules because it would be a different realtor that's going to take her out.
Then you do not give advice to somebody else's client.
It's Lucy Co. Give me a break. She's gonna give advice. But anyway, so their house, honey, that makes me happy. I hope it's a pretty house, and then her and Spinelli can get back together, and then he can move in too.
I just had so many.
That's where I'm at.
Also, real quick, side show. Do you have Peacock?
Yeah.
Have you watched the Based on a True Story? It has
No.
the girl from 8 Simple Rules or whatever.
Okay.
And the flight attendant. The flight attendant.
Yes.
Kaylee.
Yes. Coolio.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. And Big Bang. Yeah, Penny. So she's in it, and it's like her and her husband. They're trying to solve a murder, like a serial killer thing, and she's addicted to true crime podcasts. And
So it's you.
but then she and her husband decide to do one or whatever. But this is not going to spoil anything because it happens in the very first episode. She's a realtor or a real estate agent. There is a difference. We're getting into that another time. They find a clue at the most recent murder, and it is a blue booty. And they say, like many service workers use, like when they enter your house, like a plumber or whatever.
Yeah.
I have hundreds of them in the backseat of my car because we also use them.
Yeah.
And she is obsessed with, it has to be this person because they put on blue booties too when they came into our house. And I'm like, that is literally your job though. Like,
Right.
We have to wear blue booties. They don't have to be blue. They can be whatever color. But the standard, if you go on Amazon right now and type in like blue booties, that's what they are.
Yeah.
And agents use them as well.
Right.
So that was okay.
Yep. Nope. She should have known that.
They should at least have some kind of a consultant.
Oh my. Don't say blue booties.
Can I go work for Lucy? Can I go work for Lucy? Let me, please let me be Lucy's, like, person.
No, you follow too many rules. You're not allowed.
That's why Lucy wouldn't get in trouble.
But then it would be no fun. Sorry.
Sorry, I like keeping my license.
Yep. Not okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, it is okay.
Nope, not okay. Not in TV land. I don't know where to go from that. So I'll go back to the hospital.
Okay.
After Portia sees Zeke, she has to go see a patient, and it's Esme, and she's saying she's just not feeling well. And Portia is like, oh, I feel the same way. Yes, after having your child missing, kidnapped, whatever, for a few weeks, you have these symptoms, or a few days, whatever, these symptoms of not being able to sleep and not feeling right and blah, 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 blah.
Or just also being a new mom.
She is,
But on top of.
yes, she is totally trying to get her to leave town, though. She's like, you're entitled to money from them. And, that doesn't make you a bad mom to get child support. And, maybe you want a fresh start somewhere else.
Good for Esme, though, being like, no, I'd also like to work.
Right.
Like, that's.
Right. I don't want to not do what I can also to support him while I have family here, even though it's not my family, that's willing to help support us. Like, I'm glad she sees that Laura is a good resource.
Yes.
Instead of just being
But-
fixated on Spencer. But Laura's going out of town.
Exactly.
And so is Kevin. And they're taking Yuri with them.
And they're going to put the Cassadine ladies on, or the Davis ladies, on Spencer Watch.
Yeah.
I don't know how this is all gonna go.
No, they're a little busy. Unless Alexis says, Spencer, move in with me, and then you can go visit Ace. But he's never going to let that happen because...
Or let's Esme move in with her. Being that now she works for her. And maybe Alexis will be like, you know what? You do need some support.
Okay, I'll allow that.
While you're getting your career started. And, I mean, I hope that Alexis gives her a second chance.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Esme now. Like, as
right.
amnesia.
Right.
If she comes back, that's a whole other ballgame. People get really upset about that.
Yes.
That people were, like, rooting for Esme, right? I'm not saying I'm rooting for her, but, like, given the current situation, she's trying to be a good mom. She's trying to provide for her son. She's trying to make sure family's involved. She's trying to make sure he's healthy. Making sure she's healthy.
Yeah.
Trying to get a job. Like, that's all good things.
Right. What more do you want from the girl? She doesn't remember the bad things that she did, so she's just trying to be the best person that she can be at this stage in her life.
And, like, Spencer basically told Trina, I cannot just go straight to the cops right now because we have one shot at this. And if we mess this up, she'll never, ever be able to be tried again.
Right.
And that's what they fought over was the evidence and what to do with it. And he's like, yeah, they could real quick say it's fabricated.
See, I thought that he was going to say that he's taking it directly to Esme and blackmailing her, like, hey, you give me Ace and get out of town, I'll give you some money, and you won't have to suffer the consequences of your actions. But instead, he put it back in the box and was like, I'm going to keep you there to be safe.
I mean, that's not a bad idea.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't like it just because,
right.
But
that's a jerky thing to do, but yeah.
But you're right, I'm surprised he didn't say that. Maybe he's just using it as a foundation and going to build upon it, and we'll see where we go.
I mean, I guess that's all we can do, but I don't know what other information he's going to get. Like, everything's gone or destroyed.
But he's absolutely right, too, is now that, because they proved that, oh no, Victor had Holly wearing an Anna mask. Never mind. I was going to say they proved that he'd, like, doctored that video, but it was...
Right.
He doctored the face instead.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so after she gets done with Esme, she prescribed her some meds, told her they'd call her with some labs, they're checking to see if she has strep or whatever. Then she goes back out to the nurse's station, and they're all chatting about whatever. They say that Bobby's super busy because she has to do Epiphany's work and be the head surgical nurse or whatever.
And you know that was before she passed, because if we're 6 weeks out,
I know, it just made me sad.
Month. I know.
It made me sad to hear, okay?
I know, I understand, because my family, I think it was either my husband or my son, it was my son, happened to, like, come down to the game room while that was happening. And, okay, we'll finish that, because basically I was all misty, and he's like, everything okay? And I explained to him, I was like, the actress passed away. I'm like, and she's been on the show for 45 years, and they're talking about her because these scenes were taped before she passed, and it was the wall scene is what broke me.
Yes. But
we'll get to that in a minute.
Yes. So they're talking about too much work that Bobby has and whatever. And right then, Finn comes up, and they're like, hey, Finn and...
Hold on. Before that, Portia needs to go get drinks with her best friend? Best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, and she even says to Terri, because Terri and Finn come up and are like, oh, yeah, they're kind of like playing with Liz, like, oh, we just came from this meeting and they're not sure what to do and blah, blah, blah. And then finally they tell her, or Terri tells her, yes, you're going to have the head nurse position. It's just the formality of agreeing on salary and signing the papers and blah, 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 blah. And isn't it even better coming from your best friend? And Portia's like, excuse me, best friend is like a category, not an official title. And I was like,
no. She's been friends with Terri since
childhood,
like, single digit age.
Yeah.
That's
best friend.
That is very much. And yes, sometimes newer friends can definitely be better friends than older friends.
Right. It depends on what you have going on in your life. But Terri is the OG.
100%. Emily, Epiphany.
Right.
I would say she and Portia could be good friends, but we've never seen them in best friend status.
Nope.
Sorry. We will judge this.
We are judging it, and no. But then my favorite part is that she steps away and she calls Graham.
But Monica was the one who trumped the board, basically they were him and Han, and she said, no,
Epiphany's letter.
Liz is going to be because Epiphany supported
letter.
her. There's no question. Yes, she did something wrong, but, you know, we were asking for support. We got all this information. I've known Liz forever, and she trumped it. And Terri said, and she really wanted to be here. I like that this is what they need to be doing with other characters.
Right,
Like,
at least mention them. I understand that they can't always be there for whatever reasons, but they can still be put into the storyline to make it make sense.
Yes.
It makes sense that she's busy and had to go do something else, so she couldn't tell Liz. But anyway, Liz calls her Gram and is like, they just told me that I got the head nurse position. I'm following in your footsteps, blah, blah, blah. And then she turns to the picture of her grandpa and is like, I hope I'm making you proud. And I was like, oh my God, I love this.
I really want Rachel Ames to come back like one time. Like, can they please? I don't know if there's a promotion ceremony or anything, but if we could please just get Audrey on scene to, I don't know, pass
one
her
more
cap
time. Yeah.
to Liz or something. Like, please. Sorry.
Making
But then-
Shannon cry again.
But then Bobby's the one that put the picture of Epiphany on, and that's all I could think of was that Liz
Yes.
is going to have to, like, who's going to put
Okay, stop.
the picture on? Oh, okay, so
Stop.
but this is where my son was like, you okay?
Stop.
Okay, so Terri then asked either Portia or Finn if they would like to join her as co-chief of staff.
And they both said,
Portia's
"No,
like,
thank
heck
you."
no.
They're like, yeah, we don't really want to do all that. And they're like, come on, Finn, you like paperwork. And he's like, no, no desire to do all that. And then they do the little flash, I guess before she walked away, they did the little flashback of like him looking back at Liz and then being like, oh, holding out feelings.
Yeah.
They were very cute as
I
they were saying, like, as he was congratulating her and stuff. So I do hope that they put that spark back in there.
like the
Without
second
making
chance
them-
that they're giving them because
Yeah.
it makes it's better now.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Brooklyn and Chase were discussing camping. He bought a new truck, and Olivia knows all about the trucks because her
Like,
brothers.
so weird. She's like, does it have this, this, and this? And he's like, yeah, it has all of it. And she's like, oh my God.
I did like that. He's like, we can go camping, and Brooklyn's like, I don't camp.
Yeah.
And I think the only thing left was that Dante called Valentin in to ask for help with
Anna.
clearing Anna's name because he believes
Mm-hmm.
that she's being set up and everything. And Sonny went to go see Anna,
Mm-hmm.
and
Valentin went to see Anna too. They both were like, what's up, girlfriend?
but Anna at first when she was talking with Sonny, and she's like, what, you're here to gloat all the times that I basically chastised you about how can you be a good parent while you're breaking the law, and you know at the time I was doing the same thing and blah 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 blah. And he's like, no, he's like, I came because I've had many headlines, but there's two that completely stand out, and one was wife of crime lord dies in car bomb, and Corinthos' son killed in suspected mob hit, and he actually went to comfort her.
Yes.
And that was really sweet because she's obviously never withheld her concern, but she
Right.
appreciates who he is to Robin. And the fact that he basically didn't say, I told you so. And then, yeah, Valentin showed up. I mean,
I did. I liked that. She said, you know, Robin will understand and this person will understand. I'm concerned about how Emma and Noah are going to look at me. And I
because
was
they're
like,
kids and they don't know that stuff. You know, Robin was raised, first of all, she was not even raised by them.
right.
I mean, she didn't even meet. Well, she knew Anna as Love
Mhm.
until she was like 5 or 6. She didn't know she was her mom until she was older. But she was raised around the spy stuff. And I'm sure that Emma knows more than Anna probably thinks she does.
Right. Right. She's a smart girl.
But we have no idea about Noah.
Mm-mm.
I don't know. What's she going to do now? I like that we're seeing her devastated over this, though.
Yes.
Like, I like that they're showing
A real
that.
emotion.
Well, because Valentin asked Martin when he saw him at the Metro Court, and he's like, I hired you. You need to tell me. He's like, that's attorney-client privilege.
Right.
Like, I can't tell you. But he did say, she's going to be okay. She just needs some time right now.
Yep.
And then Valentin went over. So, on Instagram, Marcus Coloma and Ken Schreiner are doing a series where they're basically back in LA and they're they're doing like these little clip series, kind of how they did with Maurice for a while too.
Okay.
And the last one that they posted was yesterday, and they showed up to Finola's house, and she had a hashtag Vanna shirt on.
Oh,
and it was the cutest. But earlier in the week, he met Tyler Christopher.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And then they went to Maurice's house.
Oh, that's fun.
And it was great. So go check out, we talked about this with him in our interview with him, like about the things that he's been doing on social media. But yeah, now he and Ken are hanging out.
That's so cool.
And they've created like their own little mini series. They had, and it was Marcus Coloma World actually who put together the video to the Beatles song Come Together, and it was shot really cool. Well, she spliced it together really cool, but then if you go watch the actual video, it's really cool because all you see is Marcus Coloma standing on like a train platform, maybe, and you see some, like the legs of somebody else walking up, and then they pull back, and it's Nicholas
cool.
and Nicholas.
That's really cool.
So, yeah, it was pretty darn cool.
We didn't mention that Sonny was having the issue with Pikeman. We talked about him talking to Dex, but Pikeman's trying to move stuff again, and he's like, no, we already talked about this, not until you tell me who attempted to kill me, and Valentin's like, yeah, I don't think they actually know that, so.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Because it was Michael.
Yeah?
Yeah, okay.
Reality check.
What'd you do this week?
I don't think I did anything exciting this week. I had a nice, relaxing weekend because the kids were at their dad's again, and I'm excited for this upcoming week. Emily is on vacation with her boyfriend. It's her first like grown-up vacation without mom or dad there.
Aww.
So I'm excited for her. I hope she has a great time. I made her buy like 10 things of sunscreen to take with her because I don't want her to fry at the beach. But she's excited, so I hope that that's good. And Madeline started gymnastics classes this week, and she was all excited because they had them up on the beam, and they had you kick, and like the other girls, you know, it's everybody's first time on the beam in the class. And so the other girls were kicking like real low, but she did like high kicks, and they were like, oh, have you done gymnastics before? And she was like, no. And they were like, oh, you must be a dancer. And she was like, yes. So she had the cute little like,
Those
I'm in
two
all my
complement
glory.
each other very well.
Yes.
I have a friend who did both too growing up.
Exactly. It's necessary because there's so much cartwheels and backbends and all flips and all that stuff that they are putting into dance now because her primary dance is hip hop, that they need to go together or whatever. But she's in love with the balance beam because of some show that she watches on Netflix that focuses on that. So she was very proud of herself that she got to do it. And then yesterday we hung out with Matt and took a walk and then went and had dinner. So that was just like a nice relaxing whatever. And Megan's excited because next weekend is the Taylor Swift concert. So
Cool.
yep. That's my little tidbit.
If you are
with
in
each of the
Pittsburgh,
kids.
stay home next weekend.
Yes, stay out of Pittsburgh Friday and Saturday unless you're going to the Taylor concert. But anyway, what did you do this week?
So the reason that we recorded on Saturday last week was because my daughter and I were doing something on Sunday, and that did not go well at all.
Oh, I was so excited for you.
I know. It was just another, I hate to say testament, but she's come so far, and it
Yes.
can get so frustrating when people are like, but she's fine.
Yeah.
And then one little thing at a craft table, and then I was talking out something, and it became a frustration. She got confused about the fact that she didn't understand, and then that got her confused, and then she gets mad at herself for being confused because she thinks that she should know these things. It's so difficult because she's starting to become more aware of the differences, and she's beating herself up for it, and it kind of really sucks because we're doing things, but there's nothing we can do. So basically, we wound up leaving and came home, and I cried my eyes out all day Sunday and pretty much through the night, and I had to still work on Monday, but did not do anything extra because I was like, nope, I am doing the bare minimum today. And then I started the kids on like an adulting boot camp where they have to do certain things. And as I'm out and about, so like this week, my daughter starts like it's the first of like a work program that she's part of. But last week was like the first quote week of summer. I was like, no, you guys are not just sitting around all day while or inside or whatever.
Right.
If I'm out working, like, here's the list of things. And I told them, I was like, you cannot call me. Go to Google, go to YouTube, figure it out.
Good job.
If you need help, I've been telling them this for years, though. And then I'm trying to think of what they actually did. Oh, I shouldn't have said actually, but I forget what I actually had them do this week. But yesterday morning, my son and I replaced light fixtures for the first time, like turning off the electric and everything.
Oh, nice.
The first one took about an hour. I'll be honest, I did most of it. He helped me. He assisted. He really, really did. But I did. And then I did the second one in like 15 minutes.
Right.
Because figured out what the heck happened. But I was so scared about the electric part.
Yeah.
And it worked out.
Good job.
And
That's
then
beautiful.
my daughter put together, it was supposed to be a bamboo towel rack that was going to be up at the pool. And unfortunately, it was not what it looked like.
Oh.
But I only got it for $3 at MacBid.
Oh, well
so she goes, I can use this for shoes. I was like, well, you just put it together. Absolutely, you can. So she put that
Nice.
together. And then Friday night, I had dinner with, I'm always connected with people on social media, specifically Facebook, that are other special needs moms that friends of mine are like, you need to talk to this other mom. And you need to be friends with her. Well, there's this one woman that I've been talking to for years, and we've never met in person. Finally met in person. She got together a bunch of the other special needs moms that she is friends with, and we all had dinner. And so now we're going to start like a little group. But my daughter came with me because her work schedule, I was like, I'm either going to be really late. And she goes, why don't you just bring her with you?
Oh, that's so nice.
And I'm like, that doesn't happen. So
yeah.
it was really, really nice.
Oh,
So I had a very roller coaster week.
Yeah.
It was emotionally exhausting. But anyway, join us on Thursday. We are not doing a cast thing revisit this week. We are doing a fan spotlight with Rob.
Yay. So have a good week.
And we'll meet you at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to peer54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Peer 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at peer54podcast@gmail.com.